I. Solving the mysteries of consciousness.
Red. The average person would say, scientifically trained, red's a specific wavelength, blah, blah, blah. That's absolutely not true of the experience of red, because you can have an experience of red with that wavelength present. You can have it in a dream.
Wake up. Are you conscious now? Is any of this even real?
Almost all neuroscientists and philosophers would agree on this, that the way we've come to be talking about consciousness is we mean subjectivity, or what it's like to be something.
The content, the representational content of all my conscious experience is actually a simulation.
Brains build models of everything in the world around us, the world in us, models of objects.
So its implications are quite profound, because it suggests where's the reality without a brain to piece together and to construct reality. So it's saying very strongly that reality is a construction.
That's all we know about the world, actually. We don't have direct access to the world. We only have access to these reconstructions, and the reconstructions are often quite sketchy.
And that universe, that consciousness, and that subset of neurons in your brain is the only thing that you've ever experienced. Ever. It's not that the real world isn't out there. It is. You've seen it with your own eyes, but you've never lived there. You've never even been there for a visit.
Has this ever happened to you? You drive someplace and realize once you get there that you have absolutely no memory of doing the driving.
There's different types of unconscious. I'm unconscious of the stuff that's going on behind my head right now. I have no awareness of it. But then there's the other unconscious of stuff that my brain is processing, but it just hasn't reached the level of consciousness.
Almost everything that's going on in human cognition is going on at the non-conscious level.
Actually, many things we can do without consciousness, even better.
Everybody knows that you can drive your car and stop at the red light while you're talking to your friend and be completely oblivious to the fact you're doing this. So your brain, most of the time, and most of what it's doing, you're totally unconscious of it.
So consciousness is really a very small window on the mind. What we experience is the world presented to us from a particular viewpoint.
Consciousness is 1/100% of the total activity that accounts for cognitive possibilities, or 1,000th of 1% when you look at the immense complexity of what's going on at the neural level.
Think about what we mean by self-control. Who precisely is controlling whom?
Huh? An unconscious decision, or at least a brain decision, is made about a third of a second before a person is aware of making a conscious decision.
The critical thing is that the brain, the activity started already before the person even knows that they want.
You are your brain, but it's sort of that consciousness sort of comes after the fact.
So the question was, of course, who is in control here?
To my mind, that's the root of the problem of consciousness, is that we have this false idea that there's a me having a series of experiences.
Our brains generate self-models where there's no little man behind them.
It's a useful fiction. The self isn't a thing.
Hey!
Consciousness.
The mind is really a bodily type of process.
The greatest story ever destroyed.
The window for getting things done is about 1/10 of a second, and you have to get everything done in that or you're dead.
Your brain is not who you think it is.
It's a form of racism to think that it's only humans that can be conscious.
People have seeing eye dogs, right? Why would you have seeing eye dogs if you thought the dog was unconscious?
And you are not yourself.
And it's the reason that you don't see your nose in front of your face all day, every day, even though you can see it if you look, it's there.
It's time to step outside of the simulator.
Hello?
And look around.
Now, am I making it up? Is my brain making it all up? Who the hell knows?
That means giving up an awful lot of our intuitions about consciousness, and maybe that's mad, and maybe that's going too far, but actually I think we do have to.
I. Solving the mysteries of consciousness. Consciousness3D.net at Consciousness3D.